Nestled on the French Riviera lies the Principality of Monaco. Monte Carlo oozes wealth, with the harbour crowned with yachts and a city home to high-end casinos, fashion shops, stunning apartments that see out to the beautiful coastline, and is of course the home of F1's most prestigious Grand Prix, the Monaco Grand Prix. Bumpy, narrow and relentless, the Monte Carlo circuit is the ultimate challenge for drivers, testing their skill and concentration like no other circuit on the calendar. Teams run their highest downforce levels to ensure their drivers have as much grip to eke out as much time on the straights as possible, and as cars have evolved over the years, the layout has remained virtually unchanged, featuring some of the sport's most recognisable locations, such as the tunnel and the iconic Lowe's hairpin, which is one of the most special corners on the calendar and the slowest, taken at 50 kilometers an hour, and has often been the scene of a lot of gridlocks over the years. It's a driver's dream to win the Monaco Grand Prix, and in wet weather, Olivier Panis took his first win of his career and his only win in 1996 from 14th on the grid. Whether that was an exception from the expected way of winning, as qualifying is the most important one in Monaco. It's so hard to overtake, with slower cars being able to hold up and slow down faster cars simply by hogging the middle of the road. It's very hard to overtake at Monaco. However, we have seen over the years that brave drivers like to force their way through at Saint-Devote, the hairpin, Portier and Mirabeau. Monaco is so glamorous and it's a spectacle like no other. No race matches its history.
We now come to the most entertaining and demanding track of the season. Just coming onto the last corner, and now we're on the straight, maximising the speed, coming into the first corner, which we now snap to second gear.
Saint-Devote, the first corner, is named after a church which is located just behind the barriers on the outside of the corner, which is named after Saint Devota, a 4th century martyr.
Taking an aggressive amount of the curb as we now go up the hill, which has an elevation change of 42.
Beau Rivage is the uphill blast from Saint-Devote, and in French literally means beautiful coastline. We don't really see much of it at 250 kilometers an hour.
Elevation change of 42 meters. We are approaching Casino Square, which we take in 4th gear.
The fast left-hander that leads up to the Casino Square is called Massenet. It's named after Jules Massenet, who was an opera composer, and in fact the opera house is located to the side of the barriers, and there's a bust of Massenet just outside it.
Aiming for these barriers. 3rd gear, staying committed to the corners.
Casino Square is one of the more famous images of the Monaco Grand Prix and is described by drivers as one of the best sections to drive on the calendar. The casino is placed at the back, and the local Monegasques, they're not allowed to gamble there.
Corners, steering right of the bump in the track.
Mirabeau is named after a hotel and has definitely seen its fair share of action over the years.
And just getting very close, it is a narrow part of the track.
One of the many other iconic images of the Monaco Grand Prix is the hairpin. It is taken at just 50 kilometers an hour at the apex, and is the slowest corner on the whole calendar. Originally it was named after a train station which was there, but when a hotel was built, it took the name of the hotel, Lowe's.
We snap to full lock as we go into the hairpin, take second gear for the traction for this corner, and get very close.
The Portier corner lives long in the memory due to the accident of Ayrton Senna, who crashed there whilst in the lead in 1988, almost a minute clear of his then McLaren teammate Alain Prost. In fact, although it's La Portier, it has nothing to do with port. It's actually an area of Monaco which is named after a Catholic order.
Very close to the barrier as we now go into the tunnel, which is where you have your only brake on the track. As we now approach Nouvelle Chicane, which we take in 1st gear, snap from each side to the other, as we have poor traction, a bit of oversteer there as we now go into Tabac.
After the tunnel and the chicane, we have the Tabac corner. This corner is virtually unchanged from its original version. It's called Tabac as there used to be a tobacconist on the outside.
Probably one of the most scary parts of the track.
In the original track layout of Monaco, the drivers went straight on after Tabac, but in the early 1970s, the government of Monaco built a swimming pool, which also introduced 2 new highly challenging corners, particularly the entrance to the first part.
We now come into the swimming pool section, as another very narrow part, approaching a low speed.
Rascasse was the scene of Michael Schumacher's controversial crash in qualifying in 2006, and is the name of an old fisherman's bar, and today it's an upmarket restaurant.
There's a track in the last part, and
The idea of holding a motor race around the streets of Monaco came from a brave child named Anthony Noakes, whom the last corner is named after, and it leads the drivers to end a lap of this incredible, iconic circuit.
Getting into second gear, just getting on the curb, having forward traction to finish the lap, and we come across the line to finish the lap around Monte Carlo.